on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
Yes. Get out your sleigh if you're heading into work today.
It's not Christmas, though.
This isn't a Christmas song. It's a winter song. They don't mention Santa or the baby Jesus. It's a sleigh ride.
When I hear this, I think about Christmas. Okay. Oh, no.
It's a winter freaking wonderland out there, people. Look out the window. You'll go like, oh, look at the beautiful snow, and then just stay indoors because it's a lousy commute as the snow comes down while you're supposed to be driving places. Coming up at 6:45, we'll check in with VDOT and find out how the Northern Virginia roads are looking. 7:05, the Attorney General of Iowa, Brenna Bird. 7:35, Marjorie Danafelser from Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America, for today's March on the Mall. And then at 8:35, Brett Baer, Fox News Channel. I'm Larry O'Connor, alongside Patrice Onwuka.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, too. Also, in just a few minutes, we're going to check in on Madonna's Sexy Slutty Grandma Tour. I think that's what they're calling it, right? The Sexy Slutty Grandma Tour.
I call it disgusting, but that's...
She's got quite a costuming there for Grandma. But not aging gracefully is our Madonna. That said, first, let's address this snowstorm that's coming in. Brian Van de Graaff. How's that for an intro there, Brian? From ABC7 WJLA.
We're not making any parallels here, right? I mean,
exactly.
I'm aging gracefully, right?
First of all, were you more of a Material Girl era or Vogue era guy? I mean, I'm on the older end, my friend. I'm on the earlier hits because I'm pushing 50 years old. So there you go. So you remember that iconic moment when Madonna did Like a Virgin at the MTV Video Awards and changed the lives of many young men around the world.
Oh, boy.
All right. That said, listen, you told... Yes. Snow.
No, I was going to say, didn't we talk about this earlier in the week, didn't we?
You did. I was going to say, you predicted, you said that we would be talking again Friday morning because it'll be coming down during the week. Although, for our friends out in Frederick County, Loudoun County, Howard County, they're getting a little bit more than I think we expected, right?
Well, I was thinking in general, I was thinking about like a 1 to 3 range, something of that nature. But some of the guidance now trying to squeeze out a little more in some of our northern suburbs. So, yes, Loudoun County, Montgomery County up to Frederick, Maryland, they upgraded them to a winter storm warning, which by definition could push you up close to 5 inches of snow or more. So, at the end of the day, 2 to 4, 3 to 5. I mean, we're not talking like, oops, it's a foot. But it is going to be an impactful one. Also, just because of the timing, when it comes in at the crack of dawn when the sun is not up yet and temperature below freezing, obviously it's going to be more impactful. So, and also question too, with some people when you're measuring, you also have some snow on the ground already. So where are you putting that ruler when you measure?
Good point.
It has to be a flat, dry surface. But either way, gang, I mean, it's fun. We went 2 years without an inch of snow. We finally got the snow Monday, Tuesday. The kids went to school for like a day and a half. Now they're back home again. And, we're wrapping up Friday with some snow. I think it'll probably carry into the afternoon before tapering off. The weekend is going to be really cold. I do want to throw that out there because after the snow wraps up, a couple inches of snow on the ground, the weekend, tomorrow we're in the 20s, but wind chills all day long, single digits. So it is intensely cold for Saturday, kind of dangerous cold. I want to say, don't be outside too long. On Sunday, maybe 30s, but it'll still feel like the teens. So it is a very, very cold weekend. But next week, I do have some warmer air moving our way. So
okay, well, we'll take that warm. Brian, we will take that warmer air. We need to melt the snow off and the ice that's probably likely to build up overnight. But talk to us today. When should we be avoiding being on the roads? Like based on the snow timeline, when is it going to be heaviest, and when should we be indoors?
Yeah, but Patrice, probably from now all the way up to around 1-2 o'clock is when we have our best chance for some of the appreciable snow. After that point, it starts to kind of taper off a little bit. So I think right now through up about 1-2 o'clock, right around through the lunchtime hour, that's when I see the most kind of impressive snow totals, kind of being the intense snowfall rates, I should say, being with us. After that point, it kind of tapers off somewhat. So I just think the first half of the day is probably the best time to not be out. Also, just because it is extra cold, and the roads they're trying to get the work underway. And I guess if we stay off the roads, they can do some of their shoveling, plowing, and putting down the treatment, so that by the time we maybe want to head out later in the day, they'll have gotten a good handle on it. But for sure, it's morning right around through lunchtime that is most intense, and then kind of tapering off into the afternoon, and that's probably when the kids can go out and play. And into the evening, skies will clear, but it will be, once again, super duper cold headed our way as we head into the overnight.
By the way, I mentioned Frederick County, Loudoun County, those western and northern counties. But let's not forget, north of D.C. and northwest of D.C., our friends in Anne Arundel County up near Annapolis, as well as Bowie, where Patrice's family is in Prince George's County. They're getting some pretty heavy snow as well. And those are a lot of major arteries coming in and out of D.C. as well. So it's a little bit of a different pattern than the last storm we saw.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, and it's been a while since we've done this, right? So a lot of us are relearning how to handle it, how to drive in it, how to contend with it. But if you, unless you're like super, you have a job that it requires you to be out there, and we need to be out there, okay. But otherwise, try to take advantage of it. We all learned how to telework, didn't we?
Yeah, right.
Yes, we did. That's right.
So, look, as you mentioned on the weekend, we're looking at some some lows in the teens in D.C. That means, of course, in some of the rural areas, outlying suburbs, it's going to be even colder than that. But looking ahead at your forecast here over at ABC7, Thursday looks positively Caribbean-like, 56 degrees as the high. That's we're seeing a definite warming trend going into next weekend.
We really are, yeah. Next weekend looks like some much milder air will start to kind of nudge on in here, and I do think we're going to see a better trend headed our way. I feel like a little reprieve from this winter chill, so be patient, hang in there, and we could be pushing 60 by the end of next week. Our next system that rolls in will not be a wet system, rather a white system. It'll be a wet system because it's 50 and 60 degrees. We're not talking about snow.
Yeah.
Right,
on the
and
ground.
that hopefully maybe will wash away some of this lingering, because by then it's going to be just slushy and muddy and gross.
Yeah.
And it's not a winter wonderland. It's like
No.
Detroit all of a sudden. We don't want that.
When you have that dirty snow out there, it's not the same. It's
Don't-
pretty,
and-
fresh snow.
For the people who are not used to different colors of snow, don't touch the yellow snow. That's a different type of snow. Larry and I know what we're talking about.
Patrice is obviously the mother of 3 young boys. We know what's happening
Exactly.
here.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
So, Brian, let's just big picture for the rest of the season. I'm expecting we haven't had a lot of snow for 2 years. Are we just going to be in a pattern where every 2 weeks or so we just get these snowstorms? Are you
Patrice,
expecting
the
heavy
man is not the
accumulation
farmer's
this year?
almanac here. He's not. He's a meteorologist.
I have a
he's an
crystal ball
expert.
here.
Yes,
Larry.
Brian,
I'm
have you
looking at my
seen your
crystal
shadow
ball.
yet this morning?
It's not February 1st. I don't look for my shadow yet. But no, I mean, if you've noticed, before this snow this week, we've had several situations where we had these juicy systems that come through, and we've gotten 2-3 inches of rain. So we kept getting these systems. We were in a very active pattern, but the cold air wasn't in play. Now, finally, this week, we had the cold air in play. So I do think, we thought for sure picking up more towards the mid to latter part of the coldest part of the season, which is January, February. That's when we see it most active. So, I mean, I don't think we're quite done yet. Hang in there.
Okay.
Buckle in.
Okay.
All right, Brian. Do you want to stick around for the Madonna conversation, or do you want to just head back to your weather?
I do have to do. I have some other duties, but keep me posted.
We brought him right up to the borderline, but then he had to.
I made it through the wilderness, but
There it is. Thanks, Brian. See ya. Enjoy
you,
the
Brian.
snow. It's 6.